This is everything that I know about running Facebook ads as a real estate agent in one video, start to finish. And I want to be upfront about where this is coming from. I'm not a marketing guy who found real estate. I'm a real estate agent, and I built this for my own business first to get seller clients. It's the alternative to paying a portal like Zillow or Realtor.com for leads. So follow along in your own ads manager, and you'll finish this video with a real campaign built. The offer an ad that actually pulls in real sellers instead of window shoppers, the compliance setting that most ad tutorials miss because they've never run this ad for home sellers. The targeting, now that Meta has taken away most of the targeting away, how do you actually do it? The ad itself, and the part that nobody films, which is what to do in the first 5 minutes after a lead comes in, because that part decides whether any of this pays off. None of this is me being clever. I got here by making every single one of the mistakes you're about to skip. So first things first, what do I have to do? Well, I have to film my ads. Because if I don't have video ads, then I'm not going to go very far, or at least I'm not going to get ideal results. Many people will recommend that you use generic image ads, and I don't believe you should do that at all. I believe you should film your videos with a cell phone and film them typically even selfie style. It looks very authentic, it looks good, and it gets the results that I believe that you want to get. So you need video ad scripts. Now, 80% of the time that you focus on writing these scripts should be spent on the hook. Now, what your hook should do is it should attract the people that you want, and it should repel the people that you don't want, that you do not want to attract. So in this case, we're going after motivated sellers because in my view, that's the best thing that agents could go after. If you have motivated sellers, you have multiple options. You're also not running around just showing properties constantly. I've done that on Saturday mornings, showing property after property. And the thing that will actually change in your mind once you start listing property in high volume is instead of spending Saturday mornings showing house after house after house, instead of doing that, you'll be at home and you'll start getting all the notifications that your properties, your listings are being shown. So it's a real big difference, totally changes your life. So the first thing that we need to do is to start filming our video ads. And of course, to film those ads, we need scripts. So we need to attract the people that we want, motivated sellers. We need to repel people that are not homeowners, already listed on the MLS, things of that nature, people that aren't really that motivated. So what I did is I generated a bunch of scripts. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna film them on my cell phone. I'm gonna edit them on the Instagram Edits app. Then I'm going to upload them to the computer, then put them in my ads manager. First things first is we're gonna start recording our ads. So you can follow along. So this is my Instagram Edits app, as you can see, and here are my scripts. So I'm gonna copy my script in full, and then I'm gonna go to my Instagram Edits app. I'm gonna click camera, then I'm gonna click teleprompter. I do want this to look pretty nice. That actually looks really, really nice, okay? So I'm screen recording and I have you right there. So I'm gonna go to teleprompter. I'll paste in the script. You gotta hold it, paste, done. So I have the teleprompter up here, then I have me in the shot. This is really all you need. And what you're gonna be doing is you want the camera to be at eye level or above. So if I'm right here, this doesn't look good, right? From right here, it's probably too much. But here, right about there is just right. Okay, so I filmed my ads with my cell phone. I was editing them in the Edits app, which is an Instagram adjacent app. And what I found the case for ads that are vertical format, like you'd see on Instagram Reels, is that the Instagram Edits app is gonna give you the feel of organic content. And so that's how I film my ads almost all the time, is through the Instagram Edits app. So we have our videos edited. Let's take a look. Let's just see a few of them. If you need to sell your house and you're trying to figure out the best way to do it, there are really only two paths. The first path is the traditional listing. You hire an agent. All right, so that is the start of one of the video ads. So let's jump into it. Let's actually build the campaign. So I'm in my ads manager. What you'll do is you'll go to adsmanager.facebook.com. It's very easy to get to. You shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. Then you'll click the create button, and this will allow you to create a campaign. So I'm gonna create a leads campaign. I'll hit continue. I'm gonna name this Josh Sayer Cash Offer Funnel V.3, and we'll just say Phoenix. Yeah, let's just say Phoenix. Then I'm gonna set the budget to the ad set budget. Now, uncheck this budget sharing option. You do not want that. And make sure you do this, right? I'm gonna explain everything on this page right now. So make sure you check the housing category. Now, some people will say not to do that because, well, you'll be able to target more narrowly and you'll be able to actually get the people you want. It's not true at all. And you will get your ad account banned and you'll lose the capability to actually run ads. So do not do that. It's not worth it and you will get caught. There's no purpose. this. You can run ads really effectively, even with a special ad category. So say you're spending $100 a day. What that campaign budget is going to do is it's going to split it up across every video and all the ad sets you have within that campaign, which is not what you want because of the way that Facebook ads works, which is, let's say you have 5 video ads. It's going to put all the spend behind like 1, maybe 2, and the rest of your videos aren't going to get any spend or any attention, and that's not what you want. How you properly want to test is have all of the money split out evenly between every video. Then you can test apples to apples instead of guessing and wondering if things are actually being tested right. Because if ad 1 and ad 2 both had the exact same amount of money, let's just say $100, and ad 1 got 3 qualified leads and ad 2 only got 1 qualified lead, well then you can start to sort of plan performance, and when you do go to scale each ad, you could kind of test it from there. That's a way to do actual proper testing, is making sure each video gets the same amount of spend. Let's go to the ad set level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just say video 1. We're going to change this from website and calls to single destination. We're going to select website because we are sending our people to a landing page. Now I'm going to select my data set, which this is going to be blurred out. You won't see the numbers here, but I'm going to select seller cash offer pixel. That's my cash offer pixel. I run ads for a bunch of other things as well, but we'll just select seller cash offer pixel. If you need to create a pixel, this is what you're going to do. You're going to click the events manager, go to that tab, let it load. So I'm going to click connect data. Then I will click web, next. Then I'm going to create a data set. So for this one, I'll just type in YouTube cash offer. I probably shouldn't name it that because you guys might get confused. So let's just say Arizona cash offer pixel, like YouTube cash offer test pixel, but we'll name it this, test pixel 2026. Let me take that out so that this video can play at a later date and still be relevant. So Arizona cash offer test pixel, yours can say your name. You're typically only going to have a few pixels in your account. So you'll click create. It's going to be again to create the actual pixel. So I'm going to select IWMC full. That's the actual account that I run my real estate ads through when I'm running it to get sellers and buyers and such. So IWMC full, next. Then it's going to show the setup metapixel. You'll hit next. Now you're going to get lots of prompts to select setup conversion API. This is not the place that you do it. So just trust me on this. Hit setup metapixel. Next. Other ways to set up, add metapixel code to your website yourself. You can use AI to do this next step that I'll show you. So you'll copy your pixel, then you'll hit next, then you'll hit next again. Turn on automatic advanced matching, click done, then you'll hit X. Then when you hit refresh, and I'm just going to type in Arizona so it brings this up, then my pixel is actually created. Now one quick thing that you do want to do that's going to help you out later, this is going to be that Facebook conversions API. You're going to click settings, you're going to scroll down, you're going to scroll 1, 2, 3, probably 3 scrolls, then choose a partner, right? It'll be under set up through a partner integration. Let me just go back. Set up through a partner integration, choose a partner. Then you can either scroll down or you can type in Zapier. Then you're going to make sure that the pixel that you want is selected. This is the same one that we just created. Then you're going to click next. Then you'll authorize your Zapier connection. It will then prompt you, if you haven't already, to log into Zapier. You may or may not have an account, so create one if you need to. Then click next. Just ignore this. Then you can click finish, right? So now I have the ability basically to do a Facebook conversion API, which I'll explain more in a little bit, but this is really what you needed so far, okay? So we're going to exit out of that page and we're going to go back to our Facebook ads. So I have video 1 right here. So I'm going to refresh this page because now the pixel is going to come up. So we're on ad set level. We just created a campaign. Now we're on the ad set level. I changed this from multiple to single. So we're just going to go through the website. Now you have a few options here. You can maximize value of conversions. You can maximize number of leads. You can do all these other things. We just want to maximize number of leads. Then you'll select the data set. So again, I'll just select this test pixel. Then you want to just select complete registration. We'll set it up later, but that's the one you want to set up. Now, later, you can do these sorts of caps and goals and things like that. This is not what you want to do to start out with, but it is something that you can do later to keep costs low, because what Facebook will do is whatever you tell it to do. So if you tell it, hey, I'm willing to pay $300 per qualified lead, since the economics are so good for us as real estate agents, if we get, a $50 lead, we're still going to get a $10,000 or $15,000 check. If we get a $500 lead, and again, if the lead is really, really good, those economics still math out for us. But obviously if we can get, $100 leads or $50 leads or $25 leads, then that's what we want. But again, this stuff comes a little bit later, so hold on to that. We're gonna make sure that our dynamic creative is off. We do not want that. Your daily budget can be whatever you want it to be. Mine is gonna be higher. So I'm gonna do $100 a day per ad set. So I just changed something real quick. Obviously I made that test pixel just so that you could see it. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna use my actual pixel. And as you can see on the right-hand side, because I've set it up, which I'll show you how to do, it says conversion API with the check mark. And when I do the complete registration, that also has a check mark. I'm actually just gonna show this to you because I will run these ads live. So I'm gonna set my daily budget to $100 per ad set. If I have 5 video ads, then that's $500 a day. Now let's go to the location. Now for you guys, you can choose wherever you wanna go. So I'm out here in Phoenix. Now I can drop a pin probably right here. That's gonna cover quite a few people. So my estimated audience size is 2.5 to 2.9 million people. So quite large. Now, if I wanted to go all the way over here, which takes about an hour and a half to drive to, which I don't really want to, I'm gonna try to keep it basically out here. The lowest you can go is 15 miles in terms of radius. I'm just gonna go to 20 just because I wanna get a little bit of Scottsdale, wanna get a little bit of Phoenix, and I wanna make sure I get this whole East Valley side, which are the areas that I do service. What you do wanna touch is the placements. So I'm gonna click the settings option. If you didn't see that, it was right here, show more settings. Click that. Then I want you to click platforms, uncheck audience network. That's just like total trash. Threads, Messenger, uncheck allow limited spending to excluded placements. So uncheck this box. So this is where I was, platforms, uncheck audience network, Threads, and Messenger. You do not want those running. It does not produce good results. In fact, audience network will actually give you a lot of spam results, which you obviously don't want. Now, placement controls, I would recommend unchecking search results. The rest of these, leave them, but the search results, remove those. So now we're good. We have our ad set level set up. We have our campaign level set up. Now what we have to do is go to our actual ad. Now there's gonna show some errors real quick. I'm just gonna fix things here quickly. So I'm gonna select single image or video. I'm gonna uncheck multi-advertiser ads. I'm gonna click for the browser add-on none. If you wanted to collect instant forms, you could do it this way. I don't recommend to do it for this purpose. So now we're here. We're at the website URL. So what I do is I'll have the website URL is the full URL, meaning when I click it, it will take me to the landing page. For the display link, I just cut off the first and the last part, so there's no HTTPS//. Okay, so I have my settings set up properly. Now I'm gonna add my ad creative. So we have these videos from earlier. The most effective, most efficient way to do this is actually having the absolute correct primary text, the absolute correct headline, the absolute correct description, and then putting those into your appropriate field. What you'll likely do is just do 5 different primary text, 5 different headlines, 5 different descriptions. What I'm doing is a little bit more advanced. All right, so this is the primary text 1. I'm then gonna put in headline 1. So here's the primary text, the headline, and the description for video 1. As far as the button goes, make the call to action, learn more. Then we're gonna click done, and boom, we got it just like that. So what you can see here is like, this is the advanced preview. This is how the ads look. This is how people will see them on the Facebook feed. So this is really intently designed, is I put the caption up and I put the text hook up here down a little bit. That way they do fit on the regular Facebook feed. That's gonna be the most common. On every single feed, is it gonna show perfectly? No, but that's really not what we're trying to do. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna make sure that we do not have this enabled. Call to action is learn more. And then make sure this is turned off. These creative enhancements or creative things of that nature, make sure those are turned off. Make sure your pixel is selected here. Then what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna build the parameter, the UTM parameter. Now, again, this is a little bit advanced. I'm just gonna type in Facebook. All right, so Facebook, placement, campaign name, and these are all dynamic values, so they will update. So what it's gonna do later is you'll be able to see exactly where each qualified lead came from. And ultimately, once you start setting listing appointments and ultimately even do deals, you'll be able to see exactly what videos are actually generating deals. So now we have this in here. I'm gonna click apply. So everything is set up. What I'm gonna do in the next couple of minutes is I'm gonna set the rest of these up. The way I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna rename the ad name video 1. So now we have our campaign, we have our ad set, we have our video. This is exactly how it is set up. So what I'm gonna do is click on the ad set level right here. I'm gonna click quick duplicate. I'm then going to uncheck this and duplicate. I don't want it to mess with any of my settings or anything like that. Then just do that a few more times. So for me, I have 5 videos. To duplicate this again and again. Now I can select this one, select video 2, make sure you change the ad name as well. So now everything's set up. Now I just need to switch out the ad copy and switch out the videos. So that's what I'll do. So I'll scroll down, make sure any related media is turned off. You only want to use one video, okay? Just one video per ad set per ad. So now what I'm gonna do for changing the video is I'm gonna click the garbage button, add media, add video, go to media, and now I'll select, for this one, it's video 4, just because of how it came out on the side menu. So video ad 4. Next, skip, keep everything the same, forward. Now for me, I'm gonna switch these out, keep this on another screen so it's easier. So headline 4 and then description 4. All right, so now I have my ad copy changed and I have the video changed. So I'll just move on to video 3. Hit trash, add media, video, media, and let me just find 3, video 3, next. Then I'm gonna just repeat the process. So now you might have 2 big questions, which is, once they click on the ad, where do they go? So what I have done is I created a website, which I'll show you in just a moment. But if you don't have a website, then you might just do a lead form, like an instant form, and set that up that way. I don't recommend doing it that way, but if you want to do it your own way, go ahead. Right, so they see my ad, they click on it, and they go to a landing page, just like this. Right, so this is my cash offer landing page. And what I want you to make sure you always do is optimize it for mobile, okay? Mobile is super, super important. So really, really simple. Here's who this is for, and here's what they get. I found that these do actually make a difference. This like subheadline does make a difference, builds a lot of trust, and really helps them understand what's going on and what makes you different actually. But at the top, you'll see an application. Now this application is through Typeform. I highly recommend them. At the end of your application, once someone submits themselves as a lead, for my stuff, if you have Typeform, what they can do is also they can book on your actual calendar. So you'll start to get a lot of bookings if you do it this way. Now, if we scroll down, we can see a few different things. One is the floating call to action, which will bring them up here. But we also explain, what's going to happen, right? We'll give them a cash offer. That's the thing that is going to get them in the door. And this isn't displaying perfectly because it's an emulator on my actual desktop of what it looks like on mobile. But we do actually give them an idea of the differences that they can expect between a cash offer and a traditional listing. So we'll go through each thing line by line, telling them, hey, here's the benefits of cash offer. Here's the other sides of the cash offer and other sides of the traditional listing. And then I even have reviews, like typically you want to have seller-based reviews so it's not confusing. And I just have these on my website that it's obviously verified. People can go to my Zillow profile and see them. It's a little bit about me. And if they click this, it takes them back up to the application. Yeah, so let's go back to the actual video ad itself, because you might have thought somewhere in there, like, how are we targeting these people? How does the targeting work? How does it get to the right person? So back in July of 2025, Meta did an update called the Andromeda update, and this radically changed the ads landscape. So maybe 10 years ago, you could do targeting via interest, like, hey, houses, Zillow, whatever. That doesn't work now, and it's not gonna help you at all. If anything, it might just hurt you. So just don't do that. The algorithm is so smart nowadays that it really doesn't need that. What the algorithm will do is it will go through your ad copy, the words in your video, what you're talking about. And think about this. One of the first things that I say in this video is,
if you're thinking about selling your house, there's a number most agents won't show you until it's too late to change anything.
So whoever watches that hook is someone that is very likely a homeowner. They're somewhat interested in selling their property. So just by someone watching 3 seconds or 5 seconds or whatever of that hook, it's going to start to target people who are more likely homeowners and maybe even thinking about selling their property. So that's the first part of targeting, is the hook. And then of course, whoever actually feels like they qualify through the ad. In the ad, I do a lot of disqualification, which is something a lot of real estate agents are terrified of doing in their ad. They want to take everybody, they want to get all the leads. I'm telling you right now, that's not what you want to do. And the reason for that is it's way easier to reach out to one person per day than 50, right? So getting a massive amount of leads is actually not what I believe that you want. It's definitely not what I want. What I want is to be able to talk to a few people per day. I want those people to be very motivated and very interested in receiving my call. But how the targeting works, like I mentioned, the words that you say, who gets hooked onto the ad in the first 3 seconds, what Meta does is it tracks millions of data data points per user. So in my geographic area, if a certain type of person watches 3 to 5 to 6 seconds, longer than the average person, then it's going to target more people that have commonality between the data points. If someone's a renter or just looking to buy a house, that applies to them, that hook applies to them, and they're going to scroll away. That is largely how the targeting works. It is a little bit more in depth, and I will say disqualification is probably one of the most important, if not the most important thing. It's as important as qualification, like, hey, who is this for? If you can disqualify, then you're going to get even better results because you want to push people away. Repel the people you don't want, attract the people that you do want. That's how targeting works with Facebook ads. So it comes down to the ad itself, what you say in it, the ad copy. Hey, real quick, everything we've set up so far is in a one-page checklist. It's in the description below. It's free. So just go ahead and grab that. That way you don't have to keep scrolling back and forth through the video. You'll just have a one-page document. So go ahead and grab that and let's get back to it. This is what the ad looks like in your actual feed. This is why I designed the text caption where it's at and the captions where it's at. So they very easily fit both in the Facebook feed as well as Instagram Reels. So I've tested a lot of different things. I've tested image ads and I've tested different kinds of video ads. What I found to be the case are that video ads succeed much better. They just do much better. That's just what I found to be the case in terms of lead quality as well as just numerically, like you'll get cheaper leads this way because you can communicate much more information in a video ad than you can in an image ad. And you can't stand out, you can't build trust, you can't build rapport like you can on video. So let's just play the ad from start to finish so you can see what it actually looks like and you can see what it sounds like. If you're thinking about selling your house, there's a number most agents won't show you until it's too late to change anything. Most people who sell the traditional way don't realize what it actually cost them until they're sitting at the closing table and the money is already gone. Here's what happens. You list the house, you wait about 50 days for a buyer on average, then another 30 days for escrow to close. That's 80 days minimum for you to see a check. While you wait, you're paying the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, the utilities, and every day that the house sits unsold, it's costing you money. Then when the buyer finally shows up, you hand over 6% in commissions, another 1 to 2% in closing cost, and whatever the inspection says and the buyer's demand that you need to fix. On a $455,000 house in Arizona, that's about $41,000 gone before you see a dime. A traditional listing usually puts more money in your pocket if you have the time and the patience for all of that. So I'll tell you that straight. But I show you two ways on the same page, the traditional net sheet and the cash offer. You look at both of them and decide what works best for your situation. If you own a home in Arizona and you haven't listed with an agent yet, click below to get your no obligation cash offer. All right, so that's it. That's how we do it. We're doing a lot of qualifying in terms of the hook, and we're doing a lot of disqualifying towards the end. If you own a house, if you're not listed on the MLS with an agent, go ahead and click the link below to get your free cash offer. And that CTA is pretty short. You don't want a long drawn out CTA. It's just, I haven't found it to be, effective when you have a long drawn out CTA. So make sure that it's, quick to the point. Tell them who it's not for and tell them who it is for. And we ask for the click at the end once someone is already qualified and been disqualified. As I mentioned, I've made a lot of mistakes in terms of the image ads because they're very easy to create, but they just are not that effective. A huge mistake that I made was I have done a lot of video sales letters before. And so what I thought would work is this exact page, except having a VSL at the top. What I found to be the case is that a motivated seller, they're in pain mode. So they don't feel like they have time to watch a video and learn all about you and all the results you've gotten, everyone, this, that, and the other. They don't care. They are in pain. They need to move because of a job. They're a tired landlord. They maybe are in financial trouble. So they don't have time to watch a video in terms of on your actual page. I've just found that to be the case. The place for the video is the ad. So it starts with a video ad, takes them to a landing page, and then right here on the landing page, they fill out a 9-question application. That's my application at least. And on most of the questions, the majority of the questions, if they answer it in a way that I don't like, then they get kicked out of the form. And we just say, hey, you're not eligible for a cash offer at this time, but we'll be in touch. It's really simple. So as mentioned, there's a couple of different destinations that somebody could go to. They can go to a landing page like I've set up, or they could go through Instant Forms. I don't recommend Instant Forms for various reasons, but if you don't have a website, go ahead and select that. Now, Instant Forms will very likely get you volume. The quality will suffer if you go Instant Forms. With a landing page, you'll get a little bit more friction, so there's going to be fewer leads, but the lead chose to be there. It's not an accidental intentional click. It's very intentional. And then even to get through the whole application, they have to answer 9 questions. You can't accidentally stumble through that, obviously. That is a very intentional thing to do. So on this landing page in the application, I recommend having the contact information as the last 2 or 3 questions. If you put it as the first 2 or 3 questions, you'll get a lot of fake phone numbers, names, and emails. But if you put that stuff at the bottom, basically people have already been filtered out if they're not that serious. And because my form is 9 questions long, if someone answers, let's just say 7 questions, and the 8th question is their name and the 9th question is their phone number, they're very unlikely to put fake information in at that point. It's called the sunk cost fallacy. So they've already, sunk their time into it. Psychologically speaking, typically not going to just want to have wasted that time by putting fake information in. So that's what I would recommend to do when you run your cash offer funnel is a video ad, landing page, application that sorts people out. The majority of questions that I have in my application, as I mentioned, are disqualifying questions. So if they answer it wrong, they do get disqualified out of the form. So now we have the ad set up. We have the engine. Now it's time to go to conversion because we can generate now all of these extremely high quality leads, but we must reach out to them quickly so that you can actually convert. So my recommendation is within 5 minutes, go ahead and call that lead. If you can do that, statistically speaking, you're about 100 times more likely to convert that lead. What I do is as soon as that address comes in, I copy the address, I put it into Zillow, and I get a quick snapshot of what's going on. Now, one of the questions that I have on my application is, are you listed on the MLS? And as you can probably guess, sometimes people do answer that dishonestly. So I just double check. I want to see if they're on the market. I want to get some information about what's going on. Was the house listed maybe 6 months ago? It's more of an expired deal. Like, hey, they came off the market. Now they're probably ready to go back on. I'm going to be aware of that. I'm going to think of, okay, what is the psychology around what that seller is going through right now? Or maybe they bought it 7 or 8 years ago, and there's very likely a decent amount of equity in that house. So now we kind of have an idea of what to expect. So I'd recommend to copy that address, put it into Zillow, look up what's going on, and then immediately call that lead. Pro tip, text them right before, hey, it's Josh Sayer. I saw that you requested a cash offer, and I want to let you know I'm working on that right now. Then you could ask a question like, is there anything else I should know about the house or something like that? Just something to get them engaged and talking. And subconsciously, they'll start to think, okay, if I'm reading a question like that, then if I provide more information, that's probably going to get me a better deal, right? And that is true. Like if they provide more information, we can often give them a higher cash offer. Or the person who does make the cash offer can typically give them a higher offer if they know more about the property. So the opening line is, hey, this is Josh. I saw that you requested a cash offer, and I just wanted you to know that I'm working on that. I do have a few quick questions about the property. Is now a bad time to ask them? Simple as that. That's the opening line, right? And a lot of really good information is communicated in a very dense amount of time. Hey, this is Josh, first name basis, right? So I'm not saying, hello, this is Josh Sayer, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going like way crazy with it. It's just like, hey, this is Josh. They feel like they can talk to me, right? I saw that you requested the cash offer, so they reached out to me. I'm trying to solve their problem. This is not a cold call, right? I'm just reminding them, again, it's better to reach out within that 5-minute time frame that's fresh on their mind. People forget things very quickly. So that's why reaching out to them quickly is so important. I had a few quick questions about the property. I'm not probing them. I'm just asking questions about the property. It's now a bad time to ask those. This is a negative framing or like a negative question, meaning we want them to say no. It's human psychology that humans feel safer saying no than they do yes. So ask them a question that they can say no to and continues the conversation. Examples are like, would you be opposed to just answering a few questions? I wouldn't say that because it's a little verbose. It's a little bit long. Then you just have a very normal human conversation. Talk to them, find out about the property, confirm their situation, confirm motivation and intent. So you just say something along the lines of, well, I really appreciate that information, and it sounds like you're really motivated to sell this property. I guess I'm just curious, under normal conditions, when would be the best time for me to just pop by, see what the property has to offer, present you that cash offer, and then really just go over the other options for you. That way you have all the information you need so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. I have Wednesday at 5, or does Thursday at 3 work a little bit better? And then be quiet and let them answer. Don't qualify, don't keep talking, whatever. We're saying, when can we pop by? Which inherently, human to human conversation, that's a quick visit, right? And you might even say, when it would be a good time to pop by for, 15, 20 minutes where I can see what the property has to offer, give you all the information that you need to make the best decision for you and your family. I have this time and date available or this time and date available. Don't say, can we meet? Would it be okay if we met? Don't say anything like that. Give them 2 options. options and then let them choose. Under normal conditions, blah, 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 blah. If they say like, hey, I'm not ready to meet yet, or they say I gotta check with my wife, or they gotta check with their husband, whatever it is, right? You could say is like, hey, totally respect that, and I definitely don't want to surprise your spouse by showing up unannounced or anything like that. What we can do is just write down a time and date in pencil with a big eraser at the end of it. So if we need to change it, we always can. If we were to do that, again, when would be the best time? I have this date and time or this date and time. Thursday at 5 or Friday at 3. Wednesday at 2. I typically like to do my appointments in the afternoon, if you didn't notice, or Thursday at 3 or whatever it is, right? So push for that appointment because these sellers are ultra motivated. Do not push it off from a week from now, okay? I've lost deals that way and you will too. So do not push it out a week or two. I don't care what they say. Get over to that house, see it for 5 minutes if you have to, and get some documents signed because that's ultimately how you're gonna start converting these deals. Do not get complacent. Do not treat these people like they're every other lead because they are not. If you do, you will lose money, you'll lose deals. So what you'll wanna do is really practice this conversation deeply so that you can get really, really good at it and convert at the rate that I'm converting. Most agents running online leads, they're typically converting them between 1 and 3%. That's what the data shows. I'm converting these leads at 55% lead to signed agreement. So like a 10 or 12x more than usual. Part of that is because I have that script very much practiced where I can talk to any motivated seller and I can usually get that appointment. And then when I go on the appointment, I can convert it. So you and I could spend the exact same amount of money, but I could get double the deals because I'm so practiced. So I really recommend that to you. Practice these conversations, practice the objection overcomes, all those sorts of things, and you'll start getting extremely good results as well. If you build this today, here's what this actually will look like for you. If you build it out just the way I did, you can have it up and running. Usually takes about 2 hours to get approved through Meta once you submit it the right way. Then once it's live, you could have a qualified lead come through in the first 5 minutes. 3 weeks ago, my client out in Florida, he had a lead come through 5 minutes after the ads were actually running. For other people, sometimes it takes a day or two. You might get a disqualified lead or somebody that you weren't really like super enthused about. Your campaign is going to have to start to build and optimize. But because what I've seen, the video, the ad copy, and the application, they do filter out a tremendous amount of, bad leads and bad traffic. I've actually found across 40 different clients running ads that you'll start getting qualified leads within about a day or two. Somewhere in this first week, a homeowner is going to come through, you're going to reach out to them, and you are going to set an appointment. What happens next is up to you. When you jump on the phone, what that house is worth. Is it better as a cash offer option or a listing option? Only you're going to know that in that situation. Then just judge this like an investment. Whatever you spent, set it against your average commission in your market for listings. Run those two numbers honestly for a month before you decide anything. And if that spend scares you, I get it, but it is much better than sending that money to Zillow or Realtor.com or any of these other portals, because what you're doing is you're actually building the data, you're building the experience, and if it's your own thing, you own it, rather than paying a portal forever. Still rather see you put money into your own pipeline than sending it to some of these online, lead providers, portals, things like that. So it'll all be yours, you'll own it, and you'll have the data.